Yes, they moved the cheese. But do we have to stay in the maze? By Robert Roddy, Ph.D. The Maze We Never Questioned. Many years ago, a small book captured the imagination of professionals across industries. In Who Moved My Cheese, written by Dr. Spencer Johnson, readers encountered a simple but powerful story about change. The message was straightforward. The world shifts, the cheese disappears, and those who succeed adapt quickly and keep moving because the cheese will always move. For a time, this lesson felt both practical and reassuring. Change was inevitable, and success depended on our ability to recognize it and respond. Entire leadership philosophies grew around the idea that agility and adaptability were the keys to navigating an uncertain future. Recently, however, I began to reconsider the metaphor itself. The issue is not the cheese. The cheese does move. The real question concerns the maze. In the story, none of the characters questions the maze itself. They assume the walls are permanent, the paths predetermined, and the goal is simply to find the next supply of cheese. The only difference between the characters lies in how quickly they react when the cheese disappears. Today, the rise of agentic artificial intelligence introduces a new possibility. For the first time, the tools we are building may not simply help us navigate the maze faster. They may help us see the maze itself. And once we see the maze, a deeper question emerges. Why did we assume we had to live inside it in the first place? Where clarity actually comes from. When we live inside the maze, our perspective becomes limited by its walls. We see corridors, obstacles, and predetermined paths. Our attention focuses on the next turn, the next corner, and the next location where the cheese might appear. Movement becomes reactive. We respond to what changes before us without questioning the structure that surrounds us. Perspective shifts when we step outside the maze and look at it from above. The maze no longer appears as a series of corridors, but as part of a broader landscape. Walls that once seemed permanent reveal themselves as design choices rather than immutable constraints. From this vantage point, patterns begin to emerge. Connections appear where none were visible before. Possibilities that seemed impossible from inside the corridors suddenly become clear. Clarity rarely emerges from deeper immersion in the maze. People who remain within its walls often move faster in search of answers, yet speed rarely produces understanding. Clarity emerges when individuals pause, elevate their perspective, and intentionally move toward higher ground. In that sense, clarity belongs not to those who run faster through the corridors, but to those willing to step back and see the terrain differently. Seeing beyond the maze. Technological change has always reshaped the maze. New tools alter how quickly we move, how efficiently we search, and how easily we adapt to shifting conditions. In many cases, technology simply helps us navigate existing structures more effectively. Some technological shifts, however, do something more profound. They do not merely help us move faster within the maze, they expand our ability to see the maze itself. The rise of agentic artificial intelligence may represent that kind of shift. Instead of simply accelerating decision-making, it has the potential to expand how individuals and organizations perceive complex systems. Patterns that once required extensive time and analysis can now emerge more quickly. Connections that previously remained hidden can become visible. This does not eliminate uncertainty, nor does it remove the need for judgment. If anything, it increases the importance of the human perspective. When technology expands what we can see, the responsibility to interpret what we see becomes even more important. In that sense, the opportunity before us may not concern the cheese at all. It concerns our relationship with the maze. History offers many examples of organizations that mastered the maze but failed to question it. Blockbuster perfected the video rental model, refining every corridor of the system that had defined its success. Yet the company never asked whether the maze itself was disappearing. Netflix, by contrast, did not simply move faster through the existing structure. It questioned whether the structure still made sense. For decades, professional development has emphasized agility within existing systems. We learned how to move quickly, adapt rapidly, and respond effectively to change. Those skills remain valuable, but the moment we inhabit may require an additional capability: the ability to step back, examine the structure itself, and ask whether the maze still defines the limits of our thinking. Some individuals and organizations will continue to run faster through the corridors. Others will begin to explore the landscape beyond them. The difference will not depend on how quickly they react to change. Rather, it will depend on whether they recognize that the maze was never the entire landscape. Acting with intentional clarity. Seeing beyond the maze does not eliminate change, uncertainty, or complexity. The landscape will continue to shift, and the cheese will continue to move. The difference lies in how individuals and organizations choose to respond. Those who remain inside the maze often interpret change as a series of disruptions that require faster reactions. They run harder through the corridors, believing that speed alone will eventually produce clarity. Those who rise above the maze approach change in different ways. Instead of reacting to every movement within the corridors, they examine the structure itself. They observe patterns, question assumptions, and consider possibilities that remain invisible from ground level. This shift does not require abandoning the maze entirely. In many cases, we must still operate within existing systems and institutions, but our relationship with them is shifting. When we recognize that the maze represents only one layer of a much larger landscape, we gain the freedom to think, adapt, and act with greater intention. In the end, clarity rarely belongs to those who move the fastest. It belongs to those who pause long enough to understand the terrain before deciding where to go next. The cheese will continue to move. The maze may continue to shift, but the moment we step back and see the structure for what it is, something important changes. We realize the maze was never the entire landscape. It was only the structure we stopped questioning. We trust you enjoyed this thought-provoking article. Please feel free to share it on your favorite social media platforms. Subscribe to be notified of future articles.